to welcome up my brother from another mother. I'm kidding. Mr. Xavier, and he is and he's the principal from our Indiana North School. So.
Good morning. And welcome to Indianapolis. My name is Xavier Owens. I am the principal of IMSA North. I've been there for 2 years. This year's spoken word theme is Spoken States of Mind. For the past 2 years, we've been unable to gather together in person. As we come together, we want to hear you share about your social and emotional state. A state of mind is a mood. A mood impacts your thinking and your behavior. We want you to speak to your mood and how it impacts you as an individual and as a person. So I thought about it. I said, there's someone I want to introduce you to if you haven't already heard of this person. Someone who I thought back in his day did an exceptional job at spoken word. And his name is Gil, G-I-L, Scott Haran. Yeah, he's very flawed individual, as I am, but impactful during his time. He used his art to elevate society's thinking. He recorded 13 albums. His work impacted jazz, blues, and the Harlem Renaissance era. Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, and Common, those types have sampled his work. Some argue that his work directly challenged the social times, the issues back then in the 70s. He challenged us to rise to a whole different level of consciousness and how to get involved more deeply. His most iconic piece of work is "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised." Come on, serious. A few pieces from that, and indulge me for a minute. And I can't do it as he does, because when you listen to him, you hear a little anger. You hear concern. You hear someone who is deeply embedded in his work and wants change. He said about this work, "You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn off, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on skag." And I had to look up skag because I didn't know what that was, but that's a form of heroin. "And you will not be able to skip out and pick up beer during commercials." Why? Because the revolution will not be televised. His final piece that stood with me most is, "A good poet feels what the community feels." So I'll leave you with this, especially, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you young people being here today. This is one old guy that don't hate on young people. I'm 53 years old. I believe in you. You are great people. You are doing really good work. I know you're nervous. Just come down here and do what you have been trained to do. My name is Mr. Owens. I'm the principal of IMSA North. I welcome you here. I wish you the very best. I have to leave because I have to go to a board meeting, but thank you so much.
I love these kinds of things. I didn't know that Mr. Owens was older than I am. I'm kidding, he's not. He's 10 years younger, but hey, I'm going to imagine that I'm, Anyway, all right, so I want to thank our teachers. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for doing more than you have to. Thank you for everything you do for kids. I want to thank the students. Most of us are here, if we're adults, because we value what you do and what you bring to the table. And I want to thank the Concept family. Oh, here we go. I'm terrible with names, so I'm not going to screw them up. So I'm going to say Miss Chambers, Miss Hassan, Mr. Uslu, Miss Sharita Combs. Where's you? And our team from Seven Skies. So I want to thank you. And I'll thank the judges later. So I just want to say I don't need to do this slide because Mr. Owens just did it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, did I miss a slide? I'm already nervous. See, I'm nervous too. Did I mention that? All right. So I want to say two things about today. So Mr. Joshua, you heard his piano piece. He performs here all the time. Apparently everyone in the city knows him, which is really cool. And I couldn't find his number, and I called him. I don't know how I found it, and he introduced me to some incredibly talented people. So Mr. Joshua, well, you'll hear about him in a minute. And then Gabrielle, I'm saying it right, Gabrielle? And I heard his comment connected to your question. Did you hear that? How he mentioned how what we talk about involves our community. I thought that was interesting. And Mr. Thomas, I don't know Mr. Thomas Nealand, and I'll talk a little bit about them in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Joshua up, and he's going to mention a few things about performance. And then we're going to have our judges perform for you. And the reason we're doing this is I believe these events shouldn't be pretty and perfect. They should be teaching opportunities. They should be opportunities for you to experience what I experienced when I was very young, and I was very lucky, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I just want you to hear from your own community and the people who may look and sound like you, or embody the ideas that you're trying to reach for. That's what learning and education are all about. So Mr. Joshua, and I get goofed up with names. Mr. Joshua is his name for me. But anyway, here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so y'all have to do a lot of talking. I'm gonna need a little bit more energy than that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Much better, much better. You all have like the tough job today. We don't. We just get to listen and be inspired. So I was supposed to prepare something in true fashion. I did not. And so this is my improvisation today, so you can score on that as well. But I've been a researcher, social musicologist, and a classical pianist for about 30 some odd years at this point. And so let's talk about breaking down the expectation of perfection. I hope none of you all are striving for perfection today. I really hope. What I hope you're striving for is authenticity and relatability. So here's my question. Show of hands, how many of you are like wildly nervous? Yay, okay, so we're being authentic and sincere. Good. I'm here to tell you, channel those feelings because it doesn't go away. I get crippling and terrible stage fright every single time, right? I'll spend months working on a piece, and if everything does not go absolutely perfect, I get bummed out sometimes, and I realize the part of performance, whether it be with music or whether it be with your words, you're creating a mosaic. You're creating a mural. So if one syllable, if one word does not come out right, does it destroy the entire landscape that you're creating? Exactly. So I want you to keep that in mind today, right? We're going to zoom out and look very macro. So I want you to visualize what your pieces are actually talking about in the big picture, right? The other stuff is we've never heard this before. I play literature that a lot of people haven't heard either. So guess what? You don't know if you're making a mistake if you've never heard the pieces before, right? So you guys are already winning when it comes to that. And then I'll kind of wrap up some of my words as well. I want you to have fun, but this is what I tell myself every single time before I step up on stage or have a performance. And it starts the evening before, it starts when I wake up and I'm ironing my clothes, and when I'm in the shower. It is a mantra that I fully believe in, and I hope you all adopt it as well, is that today, you all must lead from a place of confidence and strength. So whatever that means for you, you take a couple moments to close your eyes, do some deep breathing, or just kind of center everything. You've worked hard, but what you are about to do today is going to inspire us as professionals who've done it. Hopefully it inspires other folks, and heaven forbid you inspire yourself to continue to do this. So yes, have fun. You know, it is a competition, so like, you know, go all out. But today, lead from a place of strength and confidence.
Thank you so much, and he really is an incredible help. I can't tell you. And you need to Google him, and you need to look up some of his other performances. It's really, really, really inspiring to me. Okay, so I'm going to call Gabrielle up. I want to hear what you have to say, because I heard this lady won a competition in the South and was the first or second to do it, right?
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hi, I am Gabrielle Patterson. So I am currently, until June, I am your national spoken word champion. So I am the Southern Fried, which used to be a regional competition. It is now a national competition. It is the only one in existence. I am the sixth woman, only the sixth woman in 30 years to win this competition. With that being said, I'm going to piggyback on what was said before me, and that is final stage for me. I went to this competition and I was taking a team of people, and they were like, you have to be on the team. I wasn't going to compete. I was going to be an alternate. I wasn't going to win because I wanted to encourage the people that I was with because they wanted it so bad. And then we got there, and I competed alongside my team, and it was only, so they did teams and then they did individual champions, and there were only 4 out of all of these teams that came. So I never in a million years expected to make it to the top 4. And backstage, I was trembling and terrified, and I never get scared. And the reason that I never get scared, and I know that a lot of people do, I don't get scared because I'm telling you my stories from my perspective. So why should I be afraid telling you my story? Didn't work like that. And I was scared to death, and I beat out a 7-time champion. And so I was nervous about what poem to do for you here today, because I can be a little bit ratchet. And I understand that you are students and impressionable, so I won't be ratchet. But this, I'm gonna go ahead and do, this wasn't, the poem that I competed with, I won't do here just because it's a really strong, and it has a lot of content that may not be appropriate, but I feel very passionate about this poem that I'm going to do right now. So hopefully you appreciate it and know that I am listening to you, and I'm excited to hear all of you. And I've been exactly where you are, So the name of this poem is called Mr. Officer. History rules inevitable that our sons receive no justice. Whether he be tied to cotton gin fan in Mississippi River or necktied White House frontman, he be martyr. Poster child for propaganda. Suspect. Hurricanes tearing through Louisiana, left to fend for self, but no self-defense. They told Emmett's mother they were the custodians of American civilization, clean. It's whites-only countertops, juries, with none of our peers. Smoking guns or circumstantial evidence. Whitewash leaves soapy residue on herb and concrete. So what shall I tell my son as he bears witness to his father's execution? Look him in the face, Mr. Officer. Turn down the volume on your stereotypes so you silence his cries. Pay homage to his father for your deficit in credibility, for you be stigmata. There's blood on your hands. Tell him where his place is. Don't deliberate behind closed doors. Write your truth beside your badge. Number it with 3 6s so I know how to find you, officer. I can't hear you. Trained assassin your moniker when you blast on my future, Pontius Pilate. You're murdering the sons of God. Tell him how to respect your authority when you don't undo your history. Blame him for the itch in your trigger finger. He's but a boy. Sear it into his memory now. Give him internal anger as gift. Say he resisted. Say he was suspect. Say it was dark. Say you tracked his scent. Say it wasn't your choice. Say you're caught in the middle. Say you're doing your job. Say you don't like Skittles. Find a reason, Mr. Officer. Make him understand how you murdered his father and killed another black man. But you won't do that, will you? You don't explain yourself, because you be infallible deity and I be that wasting your time. You protect your sons while you murdering mine, and you feel right in your privilege to keep stealing their lives. Nothing more than statistics in your ignorant mind. So I'll tell my son to keep your belt tied tight. I'll tell him to stay off the streets at night, not to drop his wallet or buy shirts with a hood, because his skin tone alone means he's up to no good. I'll tell him drive under the speed limit on suburban streets and to be extra careful of the words that he speaks, because even when he's right, he's wrong. He can't speak his mind. Even when he says I can't breathe, it's still not his time. Be defined by his profile. Carry that cross on his back. He's a criminal. Don't you always see him like that? So stand up for nothing so it lessens his fall. Is that all right, Mr. Officer? Have I forgotten one? Is this how you want me to protect my son? By teaching him always to live in your fear. Give respect when it's almost never returned. Well, I won't do that. Not today, Mr. Officer. But sadly, it's a lesson he'll learn. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Okay. We have another judge. He's getting nervous. Look at him. You nervous now? You got to go after that? Are you kidding me? What in the world are you going to do? Mr. Nealon, you going to come up?
All right, good morning, everyone. All right. I should be myself, right? What's good? All right. Okay. So my name is Thomas Nealon. I am a poet and an author. I love poetry. It's the thing that I do. It is my life. And I hope for some of you, which I hope to hear your great poems, that if poetry is a thing that you want to go after it and go after it strong. I'm going to read a poem for you. And this poem is, it's a longer piece. And I don't remember my poems. That's my flaw today. I am the poet, the spoken word poet who does not remember his poems. That is who I am. So, because it's a lot of stuff to write. I mean, it's just so much. So I'm going to read this poem for you. It does not have a name, but I hope that you can pick up some of the pieces here and carry them with you. A lot of my poems are rooted in blackness nowadays. I can't seem to write about anything else. I don't find a place for anything else in my writing right now because there's so much happening for those of us who look like me, and so many of me who are buried beneath the ground. I have to do something for them. So this is my poem. A white pickup flashed lights in the middle of the day, and the clamor of coffee, curring in its intricate machinery, whirred around with no regard to the patrons who came to study. 2 of them had matching laptops with stickers, and although one of them rioted Trump 2024 and the other conveniently whispered Biden 2020, I imagine they won't get the time from their arguments back. Because the one thing we knew not to talk about besides religion is one more man-made construct like politics, and just how we weren't taught how to build wealth or savings or credit or home ownership or rights. We weren't taught how to take vacations or how to invest in timeshares or how to purchase life insurance. And did you know the oldest person in history lived to be 969 years? And his name was Methuselah. And that's enough time to populate the entire earth from what bloodline? And yet, we cannot stop killing those who share the same blood. We all come from the same bloodline and survived a 40-day flood. And the reason why we're killing each other is because the riches of the earth waited patiently for bronze statues of men and women to dig them up. And jealousy settled in like cold dew on cooling boards for Martin and Malcolm and Emmett and Megger. They stopped living because the sin became too much for them to endure for so long. And I suppose that's what happened with Trayvon and Sandra and Eric and Elijah, who rode his personal chariot home to be with his father, went up to paradise in a beautiful fiery whirlwind, but not like the one that stormed the Capitol. That one blew us half to hell and left no room for redemption. Until we sacrifice yet another innocent lamb, this time in the transfiguration of abortion laws. And so did lawmakers know what it really meant to take a life? Or was it all just an experiment to control a population that really couldn't be controlled? And what do we make of controlled experiments? Those black men. Lab mice are white. I've never seen a black one. Would they even use a black mouse to uncover theoretical hypotheses? Well, that would contradict their need to use our black men, because the praise would go to black folks for having endured trials and tribulations, for being people that could rise from the clutches of death. But this happened already because the first black man to be killed for his innocence endured death and the grave. And the grave gave up its keys, and the grave gave up its dead, and the grave was no more, and paradise became instead. And paradise became the resting place of innumerable sand beyond time and space, a place of neutrality for souls who overcame their suffering, a place where time was eternity and not decay. And one day, I'll see my great-grandmother again, although the first time I met her, she was already dead and came to me as clear as day, shrouded in cornflower blue mist, and if she'd spoken words, they were only audible in the fourth dimension or wherever she may have been. And as I took my silent breath in that red metal bunk bed, she was gone in the next instant. And as much as I wanted to hear her again, I understood she was a whisper in the earthly bellow of death. And when the earth bellowed, death thundered an earthquake, and the weakest points of land fell beneath the ocean, as if death himself wanted to snatch the land, implode the earth, and create hellscapes of brimstone in the vacuum of space. But I assumed he wouldn't last very long, since there's no room to breathe outside our atmosphere. A periwinkle sky adorned with angel wings that burn light the closer we get to night. I saw them the other night, the angels, knocking against the wall clouds, playing tag. Or perhaps they were fighting demons, black apparitions on a black bow of ship. And the lights that pulsed across the sky were heartbeats, rhythmic and gasping for air. And there were no sounds, no 5-second delay, no thunder to put asunder. And the sky began to clear. And I could hear leftover sparks in the sky cry out, "Holy is he who reigns in heaven and on earth." And the world spun again in harmony with the other planets, those large rocks of earth and ice and gas, like that gas, that genocidal mixture. Eliminated 6 million brothers and sisters, like the man who walked into a beauty salon and murdered 8 of my Asian sisters because he was having a bad day. Forget you and your bad day, because we ain't never tried to shorten our years by eliminating another's. And how many years has it been since you've seen a therapist? Because we can't have another Cain kill Abel because of good fruit. Music, technology, riches, and medicine all came from our hard labor and sweltering summers sweating over. White cotton that browned whenever a drop of black sweat touched the bowl. And did you know a bowl of cotton is made of locks, and the locks grow the cotton seeds? So tell me, how much cotton should I pick to count the strands of hair on my ancestors' heads when they died? And what do you suggest I do with the cotton once I'm done counting? Maybe string together and twist locks into locks, and when I sweat, they will turn brown as fertile soil, and I'll plant them on the coast of Abraham's bosom, and my people will spring to life again full of cottonous locks, brown with my sweat, golden of sand dust. And on that glorious day, we shall embrace each other, sing praises of restoration and revival, for they too will have overcome death and deep sea, and the deep will give up its dead, and the deep will give up its keys, and the deep will be a dark vacuum of space, empty and without form, and no word will ever speak death into it again. Nor will ever words be uttered to restore death to the grave, for death in its grave will become a withered whisper far away on the shore of a black hole where there is no new land to claim. Thank you.
I think we should give a round of applause for our talented three. I want you all to know that I still get jealous when I hear talent. And just so you know, if you're nervous and it scares you, I also want you to know we have some talented writers hiding in our schools. You all know on the first on the left, does everyone know who that is? Yeah, what's her name? Yeah, right there, Miss Blanchard. Young lady we met in St. Louis this year. She's a published poet. Mrs. Wallace, she's very involved in the St. Louis community. And then right here at IMSA West, Miss Gray published her first book this year. So let's give a round of applause. So I'm just going to cut my comments short, but I want to say one thing. So I can't compete with this, and I'm not going to even try, but I'm going to tell you something because who knows? You never know in life what happens. I'm going to read it too. Thank you for reading. Made me feel a little better. It's not a poem. I'm not going to read a poem. But I'm really glad to see all of you today. I personally struggled during the pandemic. I felt very isolated and alone and very scared again. It reminded me of when I was 13. But I think back on days like this to my teacher, Miss Husinger, and it's really important for you to know that she found me in 9th grade, and I was very introverted. I'd yet figured out how to turn my mouth on. Now people want me to shut it off too damn bad because it took me too long to get turned on. So she saved me, though, and she got me into the poetry club. And I was suicidal. I was seeing a therapist, and I was a mess. But I fell in love with words, and they were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. I have them. I look back at them, but it didn't matter how terrible they were. It mattered that I tried to put them together like they were some elaborate puzzle that could tell my story in my life. And it was really amazing. It changed me. I came out of my shell. I went on to win state music competition 3 years in a row, state champion in wrestling. I starred in 7 plays and 7 musicals, and I paid my way through college by singing. And the reason I tell you that is I didn't win anything until I was 32 years old. So what it was about was the muscle that these talented judges display, whether it's in a piano or through their words, or how they express something connected to their community and their idea. And what I wrote down was, writing saved me from suicide, and today it sustains me. At 62 years old, I'm now working with my writing coach again. That's me right there. And I have a new ambition. And it all started with a love of words that just keeps going and keeps evolving. And I do eat poems for lunch. I do eat poems for lunch. And I write prose for dinner, and I eat that too because that's what sustains my soul. It has nothing to do with a grade, but it has to do with the teachers out there who listen to you as one audience to one poet or one writer. So I want to thank you for that. I don't really have anything else to say. We're looking forward to seeing you, but thank you for coming, and we're going to go ahead and start. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to call you up. You're going to go one at a time. So the first person we have coming up, I believe, is Ebony, right? Ebony, are you there? Don't be nervous, Ebony. Ebony is from 8th grade. Come on up, and she's going to do her poem commercial.
Okay, my name is Ebony Hickman, and my commercial, the title of my poem is Commercial. Being 13 years old is a big priority, especially since I am one of the minority. Being overlooked, but yet still brings pity, though we have more challenges to face in the big Chicago city. We wanted change. We wanted to prosper. Didn't know this meant Mother Earth would look so improper. Melting the ice? Is this what we want? 1,300 more people dying per year because of climate change, and y'all act nonchalant. You don't gotta care, though, to someone you love, then all of a sudden you wanna do all of the above, high as the sun. Our planet's heating up, and hot states are getting cold. And yeah, y'all still behind a president that all he wants is control? It's funny how everyone brings violence to the Capitol when it was about him, but no one cared when he was screaming, "I can't breathe," with the knee below his chin. I don't want to be too controversial. I just don't agree that my life is a commercial. We have people illegally slaughtering the creatures that are relied on the most, all because you want the money. Yeah, because killing someone's mother in front of them is so very funny. There are 5 trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean killing RC animals. That's called pollution. And that you're lazy, get it together. Oh no, I'm feeling hazy, dizzy. My world is spinning. I can't focus on my life because the government's choices are so deceiving and disrespectful. Though you want to know what's really disrespectful, Florida thinks race is something to ban. I got my 8-year-old niece and best believe she gonna know exactly what happened to people like me. But did you know that 164 people died because they were black, and you want me to sit back? You want me to chill and hope that there will be a change? You think I'm gonna let down my great MLK? Why don't you like us? Is it because we're violent, or is it just because we won't simply sit in silence? But blacks against black, aren't we supposed to fight for the justice that we lack? But as much as we fight each other, how about we fight the rich? Over 500,000 people are homeless, and I don't see no one stepping in. Also, apparently drugs are teens' only major issue, but when we call out for help, y'all tell us how our mental health is just a minor issue, how people have it worse, how our people love to disperse, how we got people fighting for justice and some of y'all rooting for the curse. All I know is that I want to reimburse. I'm tired of all this fighting just because y'all despise the word diverse. And I ain't apologizing if it's too controversial because as I said, my life is not a commercial. This is my life. There is no script. Stop trying to write my story. Stop trying to step in. Y'all separated us, though, and wanted us to kneel and set ourselves stand. Y'all must think I'm a puppet. Y'all need to wake up and realize that this generation is going to try to overcome and win. But why can't we do this together? Black, white, big, or small. We are all here, so let's stand up instead of trying to crawl. Let's make a difference. Try to bring up something different. Don't listen to can't or no because we start to come diffident, thinking we can't do it, thinking we are overdoing it. Remember that we don't have to be equivalent, but that doesn't mean we could walk around being ignorant. Because y'all get a taste of power and it starts to become a barbiturate. Then it causes someone to retaliate by becoming belligerent. All this chaos because someone looks, thinks, or lives a little different. This is not a commercial.
Okay, now my understanding is we do not have a number 2, so we're going to invite up in a minute number 3. If you want to come down, and do you want a mic?
Hey y'all, I'm Madison, and pre-warning, this is my first time ever writing slam poetry, like ever. So before this, I never wrote slam at all. And my poem is called Drowning in the Pool Without Water. All right. The first time you learn to jump into the deep end of a swimming pool, there's someone there to catch you, just to make sure that you won't drown. But in my case, no one was there to catch me. Not a single soul to be found. It was almost as if it were a dead land up there. So as I jump into the pool, water fills my lungs to the point where I can no longer breathe. I've drowned, but the funny thing is the pool is empty. No people, no floats, and definitely no water. The pool is filled with blood and tears and stress and anxiety and thoughts I have no control over, practically overflooding the pool. And yet again, no one was there to catch me. Nobody but a razor blade. The blade was there to catch me, so when I jumped in the pool, I wouldn't sink under, and so the water wouldn't fill my lungs. When I jumped, the razor caught me by my wrists, my arms, my thighs, and sometimes even my torso. It would try to make sure I'd never drown, and for the most part, my head was above water, and I'd be able to breathe again. Oh, shit, wait. Oh, dear Lord Christ. I'm sorry. The weight on my shoulders just disintegrates into the air as I've jumped. I've taken swimming lessons so that way the razor wouldn't be the only thing to catch me because according to them, I don't need it. They say there's other ways to be caught. They say try holding ice in your hands. It feels the same. It doesn't. They've tried to teach me to float over and over and over, and I could never catch on, and I'd still sink because I can't even save myself from my own thoughts. No matter how many pills they gave me, no matter how many swimming lessons I could be taken or given,
It's all dependent on me. I sink into the sheets of my own bed for days on end. Further and further, I'd sink like a rock being thrown at the bottom of a lake. And that rock is going to stay there. Who knows how long? Because who checks how many rocks sink to the bottom of a lake? No one. Then again, I don't tell anyone I'm sunk. No one knows I'm drowning until they've seen it. Until it's the first time in weeks I've worn a short-sleeved shirt and they've seen where it caught me. There's no lifeguard on duty in my head because for the amount of minutes and hours and days and weeks and years I've been at a swimming pool alone. But one day I didn't need it. I thought I finally figured it out. How to jump into the deep end without drowning. And for a while I did figure it out. I learned to swim without drowning. But one day someone said the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person and I snapped. And suddenly I was that frightened little kid jumping off the deep end for the first time and no one was there to catch me. I needed the release again. And so it sits there on top of my bathroom counter staring at me, telling me just one more time and I'll catch you. I tried to resist it, but the feeling of release is like the feeling of a hunger that I can't control. And the thought of having an escape from an emotional pain only certain pills could control sounded like a good plan. May not have brought myself into this world, but it sure feels like I might be the one to take myself out of it. But I'm not going to. Because I'm going to be lifeguard on duty for others, even if I can't be one for myself. And I'll still take swimming lessons if that means I can learn to swim without being caught. If that means I don't need a razor blade anymore, I'll keep trying.
Hello, I'm at work and I'm going to be doing my poem called Emotional. To think that a person can hold so much in, to think that I could hold so much in, to be honest, I am an emotional person. First day of 6th grade, camera off, mic muted, 2 months in, grade slipping, mom tripping, overthinking, overlooking, in, out, face to face, let it out, no, let it out, no, let it out, no. Legs like noodles, arms heavy, heart palpitating, breath taking, feeling, open, tears coming down like a waterfall, on my knees praying for everything to stop. Heart beating even faster, breath taking, throat closing, blackness, mom yelling, light. Next day, mom asks, how did you feel? That's it. Every atom in my body felt emotional. The point of emotional release is caused by an event. And this is my event, a realization that the time is now to stop holding in every inkling of emotion. Because if you don't let everything out, your body stops. Your body wants to let it out. But you make yourself hold everything in. You trap yourself in that steel wire cage. I understand you're emotional. I understand that you're scared. I understand that you don't want to let out the pain, wrath of emotion you feel inside. But it's okay to be emotional. And you have to understand that you shouldn't trap yourself in that cage. You have to understand that you are the only one with the key to free your emotions. Put yourself at ease, unlock yourself, free yourself. Don't restrain yourself because it's okay to be an emotional person.
So number 4 was Edward, to be clear, and number 5 is Barbara Starks, correct, Barbara? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Okay, can y'all hear me? Yeah. All right. My name is Barbara. I go to Indiana Math and Science Academy. Okay. My poem is Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, there was a thing called slavery. Well, never mind. Slavery is still going on. Instead of whips, we're being with police sticks, and instead of chains, we're locked in hand because they just got a new name. Dealing with injustice from 1619 to 2020 and beyond. I want to change the world, but I can't make a magic wand. You see, Mr. King lost his dream, and it's because we're in a world of police brutality. Can y'all not hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, but do you feel me? Because red and blue lights has become our reality, and it's crazy. I've never seen my nephew scared to walk to the park, and it's all because it's getting started. Don't get me wrong, though, all right? Our skin shows our beauty, and that's for us to embrace. However, that saying is for every race. So when I speak the topic of Black Lives Matter, it's not for you to hear. It's so that my people will no longer have fear. But it seems like no matter how hard we yell, scream, stomp, or shout, they have to find a way to keep us out. We're lost, hoping to be found. politically inbound, unstoppable from making sounds, so please pay attention to what's happening now. But excuse me for having these thoughts in my mind. This is what happens in my Once Upon a Time.
Hi, I'm Brianna, and my poem's called More Than You Can Imagine. You have seen me rise and seen me cry, however, you still find a way to let my self-esteem die. What can I do? You hated me since childbirth, and you wonder why she can't find her worth. What can I do? You yell and scream at her, but she still loves you because of all the things you were. What can I do? So many people abandon her, so many people leave. Who else does she have besides the ones hovering above like a dove, looking over her shoulder, wiping her tears to cheer her up because nobody is really ever near? What can I do? She puts her mask up to keep everyone unaware of all the pain that she has to repair. She has a shoulder to cry on, but really, how long will that last? Everyone around her has passed by without the thought of mind how that has hurted her. She sits alone scrolling through her empty phone, wondering who she can talk to, someone that she can call a friend, and someone that won't make our story end. She reminds herself not to get too attached as she did when she heard Daddy was coming back. That was one of her first heartbreaks. People think ice cream and cake will fix their rookie mistakes. What can I do? What can I do to fix all the damage that has been done? I want to be the one who gets to say I won, not the person trying to find some type of peace by staring at my feet. I now have friends who will always be there for me, bonds that are stronger than concrete, making me forget about all of the bad things. I never thought I would see the day that I can heal from all my pain. I thank the people who stayed with me through it all. They pick me up every time I fall. Now I can't say with confidence that I didn't know I had. What can't I do?
Okay, I'm a little nervous. And this is more of like a personal poem, not like super relatable, but I hope you guys like it. So, lost in thought. All I do is think. Going through it all, consumed in the thoughts, they just swallow me whole. It's hard to even explain how it feels. A motor that never stops, constantly in motion. It's exhausting, never being able to stop the thoughts that devour me. I wish I could just turn it off, but I blink, and I'm back at camp, waiting with Mr. Brown to get picked up by Mommy. She just got off the night shift, but she still has that $1,000 smile. I blink again. Now I'm in my old house, eating with Mom and Dad. No responsibilities, no worries, only love and light and happiness. A complete family. I blink again, and I'm here, in the reality realm of the world, wishing I was back. Now I'm suddenly wishing I was lost in thought again.
All right, this is number 10. Number 10. Come on.
Hello. Hello, my name is Ashley, and this is my poem, Tired. Hey, how are you? I have no energy to answer their question, but I'm good. I'm just tired. I say for probably the 20th time that day, it was only 10 a.m. It was the same empty question every day. I mean, I guess I couldn't blame the apathetic minds that led them to ask, as I walked the halls with my head hung so low, it seemed as if it could snap off of my neck at any given moment. I guess the word tired had become my escape word, my safe word. It was the word that seemed to answer every obstructive question, easing the minds of people who really did not care in the first place and just checked on you to make themselves feel like good people. The word felt so safe that maybe I could ignore all of the other feelings in my body. The crippling anxiety that shook through my bones, the thick concentrate of depression that soaked through my skin and threatened to take my life at any given moment, just for a moment. Maybe I could pretend they never existed. Maybe I could pretend I wasn't struggling to survive. Maybe I was just tired. The word cared for me, protected me from the reality of what I was truly feeling. The reality that my body had finally caught up with the constant validation I kept chasing, but I never received. The reality that my legs had finally caught up with the way I was running away from all of my problems, most of which I caused. The reality that my mouth had finally caught up with all of the words that I left unsaid. The reality that I was 3.5 seconds away from self-destruction beyond return, but maybe I was just tired.
Cool. Number 11. Come on forward.
Oh, look a little different than I expected. Hi, my name is Ajane Coleman, and I go to Horizon Science Academy in Toledo, Ohio. And my poem is called In the Folds of My Mind. In the folds of my mind, I hide old, cherished memories, as well as new painful ones. I hide them in the folds and crevices of my mind so they won't resurface their way back into my life. I've spoken about it at least 1,000 times, but it doesn't seem like enough. I can't regurgitate the things that I want to say, so I just stuff these words into the folds of my mind. I understand that hurt people, but why did you have to hurt me? It stings, just like you wanted, but you promised you never desert me. I laugh all the time as a coping mechanism, so the tight folds that I made in my mind won't unravel. Please don't unravel. I need you to stay. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up because everything is becoming unamusing and I'm forcing myself to laugh. I want to cry, but the keys to unlock the tears are hidden in the folds of my mind and I can't find them. I guess I've hidden them too well, huh? Now I can't remember the old, cherished memories or new painful ones. I can't comprehend why I try to make excuses and justify your actions, but they will never sit right with me. I never would have thought that you would become my enemy in the folds of my mind.
Okay, and now we have number 12. Number 12.
Okay. My name is Nora Unique, and I go to school in Horizon Middle in Columbus, and yeah. Okay, so my free form is called Your Spoken State of Mind, so let's start. Your spoken state of mind, how you feel. I may go to school every day happy, laugh every day, but is that really what goes on inside of me? I'm saying this because not everybody is able to speak up. 2 years ago, a pandemic hit. We couldn't see anybody or talk to anyone. We couldn't touch, we couldn't communicate with anybody. To be honest, this impacted my behavior. I thought I was all right, but I became more aggressive. How do I put this aggravated? How did I put this anywhere? I don't understand. Like in the future, we might be thinking from 30 years from now, oh my God, we had a pandemic. Oh my God, kids might be thinking this is all funny, but it was a pandemic. We don't know about it. But that's the thing, we don't know how to speak. We don't know how to speak for ourselves because nobody will listen to us. In this generation, it's all you're fine. Nothing's happening, you're fine. Just don't worry about it, go to sleep. Nothing's gonna happen. But is that really what you think? I normally didn't used to care about what people had to think about me, what people didn't care, but coming to school has made me think, oh my God, I have to care. these are people's opinion. I had to think about their opinion. But this is my world. I'm living in my world. I'm gonna think about what I want to think. This is my body. I love how I look. I used to not care about what other people used to think. I used to be the same way. I used to think, oh my God, my opinion matters to what you think. But that's the thing, my opinion doesn't matter what you have to look like. You look the way you want to look. You act the way you want to act. But I act the way I want to act. And that's just how I'm going to act. People don't understand. People don't know how to speak their mind. They have to be comfortable around you to know how to speak their mind. And that's the thing. Speaking your mind can really set you free. And that's all I want to say.
We have number 14, Lanye is going to come to the microphone.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Lanye Rose, and I'm going to be performing a poem called Perfect. Okay. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Hey, Mama, I want the spelling bee pretty cool for a second grader, huh? I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Hey, Mom, guess what? I did all the dishes, and I'm not even sleepy. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, you told me I couldn't go to that birthday party. You got mad and told me not to question it because I'm not an adult, so I won't. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, you said I'm getting adopted, and then I could choose any middle name I wanted, so I chose the one you liked most. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, you told me I couldn't go to sleep till I finished all my timetables. I think I've officially discovered what an all-nighter is. I wonder what you did in 4th grade. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, I said I was sorry, but you still haven't said a word to me. It's been 3 days. Please, I start 6th grade tomorrow, and I'm afraid. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, I know that my grades are dropping, but I swear I'm trying my best. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, you told me not to talk about Dad, but I don't know where he is, though. He said he'd be here when I graduate 8th grade. Does that make him a liar? I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. You told me I'm not allowed to cry because if I do, I'll look stupid, so I'm going to draw instead. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, I told you I'm nothing like my sister, but you keep getting mad every time I try to say it again. So I've decided to forget the memories me and her shared. Maybe you'll be happier. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. You're kicking me out again, but I know it's not forever, so I'm gonna just wait outside. It kinda sucks though, because I didn't know 15-year-olds were supposed to dress for the weather 24/7. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. You told me the way I smiled and pictures look stupid and ugly, so I'll stop just for you. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Will you at least look me in the eye? I'm begging you, it's been weeks. I said I was sorry. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. You told me you're tired of trying with me. You wanna know something? I'm tired of trying with you too. I'm tired of trying. You said you're gonna give me back. I didn't know you could do that. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, guess what? I made the National Honor Society. I did it all by myself. Doesn't that make you proud? I needed to hear you say good job. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, I think we're getting better. We went a whole day without arguing. We even shared French fries. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. I wanted to stay this way, so I won't tell you it's getting bad again. I'm trying to be the perfect daughter. Mom, I just want you to know that I love you more than I love myself, and that will never change. I'm going to be your perfect daughter.
Now we're going to welcome Amir, number 15.
How y'all doing today? Good morning, judges. My name is Amir DePriest, and I go to Indiana Math and Science Academy North. And the title of my poem is called Torn State of Mind. My state of mind is crazy. My state of mind it can get my state of mind can get corrupted. My state of mind sees me as a statistic, never with it, but always against it. My state of mind can get cloudy and hazy, that sometimes I don't know where I'm going. My state of mind can get out of place. My state of mind can't even see me in my own place. You know, sometimes it's just hard for me to think what my state of mind is, and sometimes I could be going where I don't even know where I'm going, like a road map if you get lost or if you come back or you forgot something at the crib. Sometimes I don't even know what my state of mind is. That's why I get confused and misconstrued it. Sometimes how I use it, or sometimes how I abuse it, or if I forget it, I can go off the top of my head and y'all really don't understand how my state of mind can get. This is my state of mind. It's not y'all, so y'all probably wouldn't even understand. I mean, sometimes I get stage fright, but sometimes you wouldn't understand. Sometimes you wouldn't understand, but sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I can explain my state of mind to my mom and my sister, but sometimes they really don't. I can explain my state of mind to y'all, but sometimes y'all really don't. Sometimes I don't. And sometimes I just don't get it. A home is, to me, is like where you have both parents and they're both happy. Sometimes I don't even know where my dad is, or sometimes he may lie and say he's gonna come back and get me, but never had me. He can be my dad, but I love him to death, but I don't judge him for the decision he made because he left. I mean, for 13 years, we were rocking with 4 of us. Me, my brother, my sister, my mom. It's just like a tour bus. I mean, it's just a wordplay. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. So sometimes if I get stage fright or if I look at the judges, I can't forget of what I'm saying. I mean, but I can take it in many directions. My mind is an essence. My mind is a presence. Lend me your ear. Listen to my words that's out of place, because my torn state of mind is never my place. Quarantine, it took me for a trip. I got depressed, and then I came back better than I is. Better than I was, not better than I is. It sounds better like that. I'm not gonna change my grammar because of what a person told me. It's just like that. You feel me? I don't think you feel me. I remember one time they pulled up 6 cars 12 deep, told me to come outside. I was in pajamas watching YouTube, twisting my hair like, oh my. It was just the middle of the night. They questioned me, brought my mama out. Then a few hours later, I figured out that my dad called him out. He's in a whole nother state. He don't even know what I'm on. And that whole time during quarantine, I don't even know what I was on. My mind was so lost and my mind was so confused that sometimes when I'm up here and I'm looking at the ceiling, it's like, God, what do I do? But my state of mind is crazy. And sometimes I may forget. Just remember, I'm still running this race with my state of mind, and that's it. Thank you.
This is number 16.
I'm Tayana. I go to Horizon Science Academy in Cleveland, Ohio. My poem is called First Heartbreak. I never knew friends can break your heart too. Looking back at 5th grade, I always thought we'd be best friends. Me and you forever. We promised. It feels weird when I can no longer run and tell you about a boy I like, or call you when I feel upset at home. I miss how easy our friendship was and we could just look at each other and laugh. I missed how you cared and would have never given our friendship over someone so little. I wish you would have listened to the advice I gave you, not because I was controlling, but only because I wanted nothing but the best for you. My thoughts immediately relate back to you and all our moments together and your consistent new friends you replaced me with. I wish I could replace you too, but there's no way to replace the times we spent together. Honestly, I think I lost a part of me once we stopped being best friends. And although it was my choice, for once I couldn't put you above me and my mental health. And you were very draining until the absolute end. But no matter how much you may have thought I hated you, I could never. I wish I could have stayed and fought your demons too, but I am only a single girl. I cannot fight yours and mine at once. You were my first heartbreak, and although I know you won't be my last, it doesn't make it easier, and I know you're not gone, and I still see you, but I am left mourning the loss of my best friend.
Okay, welcome number 17, Marla.
Hello, my name's Maria. I wrote The Bubble. The thoughts that trot.
I inappropriately said your name. Tell us your name again.
Maria.
Maria? Okay.
I wrote The Bubble. The thoughts that trot, the ones that roll my mind. They're like a bubble, dispersing, attempting to separate, to roam free. As I think back on that, I think about the people who shaped me, who helped me become me, the people who took that shy little girl and helped her become free. I think. I stop and think. I look back at those places that bring back so many memories. I think back to the friends I made along the way, but also back to how quickly all of our lives changed. The memories we made, the ones filled with happiness, the ones filled with sadness and sorrow. My social life was thriving, but my thoughts were slowly dying. My emotions still. Time was frozen, the virus struck, we were all stuck in 2021. Our social lives disrupted, but there's no time to weep in sorrow. The confusion that greatly filled our minds, only time to think about the happy days, the days where one could still play outside, where parents sheltered kids, when they guided us to good. I stop and think. I think back to when we were kids, when we had no worries in the world. That bubble popped, those kids grew up. We reminisced. Our mental states, they're stuck in traffic. Our lives were forever changed. We think again of how times have changed, the difference in our mental states. For some did good, but for others, they remain trapped. That's the great impact from when time went still, when the world had stopped, when all and everything we knew was forever changed. I changed. That confusion that filled my mind was fading. I was beginning to feel like me again. The bubble I was trapped in popped. When I look back into the past, it seems unrecognizable. I don't see myself, but someone else. I felt like I was hidden away, trapped, trying to escape. I feel as I am finally able to enjoy life again. That blurry cloud that once filled my mind was finally washing away. We saw clear skies. It was like the tunnel was finally coming to an end. Reflecting back on that, we lost track of time. Were we actually gonna graduate in 2 months? Or had time just remained still and wasn't actually passing? Time seemed to be good 1 minute, but the next minute bad. Definitely a memorable chapter. The places that once seemed to be memorizable were now strangers. The past is the past, the future is the future. Time to get used to what's going to come next, what bubble will form next.
Gonna welcome number 18.
Hello, everyone. The poem I'll be performing today is called Beauty. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, Mother said. But what is beauty? The words of fake confidence priding in that statement. In our world, people have altered themselves and are no longer who they were to be seen as beautiful. No one has remained the same. Just to meet up to our beholder standards. In our movies and stories, we see that the beholder seems to be one, and one evil, might I say. His words slashing the hearts of many. The delicate, the strong, the weak, the brave. When shall you be satisfied? Your ruthlessness reflected in society. Your actions spread like a stain that can't be washed away. Your evil ways has poisoned many hearts, yet not killing them, but creating a greater monster. Hungry, never satisfied. Your evil affects not just the people, but the soul. A bare cake in a bakery, filled with frosted cakes. Wrong for being bare, wrong for tasting sugary. Nothing is ever enough, forgetting that we all are just ingredients that have our own special measurements. Have you no conscience? Have you no pain? When shall I stop feeling pain? When will your messenger's eyes leave me? Is there really no place of escape? Your ways penetrating even in the lives of objects. I stand strong when my heart's shield is no longer strong enough to keep your poison away. How can I be enough? When will I be enough? But what then if we meet your standards? We must uphold that and keep to it, right? But don't you know it will break us? Can we be more than beautiful? You have bewitched everyone to love you, and society sees nothing wrong with you, but you have caused me pain. Can we have beauty and brains? More like beauty and nails. You say we are selfish and we have caused you pain. Again, with your selfish ways that still go to your gain. But my questions still remain, my heart not okay. Is being smart for nerds? Are they not beautiful? What happened to beauties in the eyes of the beholder? What truly is beauty? Who truly is the beholder? Or even the woman's beauty and brains? So truly speaking, who is the beholder? Shall this beholder reject me? Are you evil? Have you been buried alive? Has the spirit just cloned you and given you this bad name? Have you lost your voice in society? Is society the enemy? Are you even real? Were you made up to portray everyone's insecurities? Who has beauty and brains again, I ask? I ask my mother, but she responds with, tomorrow will be better. There will be a change. This metaphor, this phrase, this beholder must be beheaded for his sins. The hate he gives, the pain he brings, but tomorrow will be better. My sweet child, you are beauty, and you are your own beholder.
Okay, this is number 21.
Hello? So this is my first time doing poetry. My name is Anthony Gallegos, and this is my poet, False Reality. Some believe that life should have meaning, but others believe that, Jesus, okay, hold on. I'm losing my train of thought, sorry. Yes. But in all honesty, life is filled with painful moments that make some wish they had never been born. Others believe if one keeps moving forward, they will find true meaning in life. Although I honestly don't understand it. I just want to shut down and never relive those moments again. People like me hate the thought of happiness due to it becoming something harder and harder to achieve in an ever-darkening world. A world where life begins to lose its touch, and we all begin to chase the next big thing. I have lived a life cruel and inhumane, one filled with hatred and sadness towards those who have achieved the true happiness that I have chased my whole life. Happiness, the one and only thing I have tried to recreate, but only to experience temporary highs filled with educational and materialistic ideas. But nothing truly fills the void within my life. I live with these thoughts of hatred and prejudice towards those who have achieved the true happiness that I have been trying to achieve. With each passing day, these thoughts begin to grow in strength and take control of my mind, leaving me feeling completely and utterly helpless. Numb thoughts. There is no stream of consciousness in my thoughts and actions. I travel throughout life just existing, but not living. I am more than a corpse without emotion. There is more to life than pain, grief, and heartbreak. Even though life isn't filled with pain, I will be the one to say, true happiness is to help bring joy to others. No, that's it.
Number 22, number 22.
Okay, my name is Amaya Roberts, and I'm from Horizon Science Academy, Dayton High School. And today, my poem is Broken Friendships. Have you ever had a friend, let me rephrase that. Have you ever had a so-called friend? You know, a friend that claimed they're real, but in real life they're fake? Yeah, one of those. I thought you were my true friend. Well, it turns out you were just a true fake friend. Smiled in my face, but talked about me with your new friends. Is that what we do, friend? We could have been friends while we're friends, but now we're broken friends. You knew my heart was as big as the universe you and I used to live in. Now it's if I'm in the stars and you're on Mars, and I'm still listening to the same love songs from afar, thinking like, friendship shouldn't be this hard. Now you're looking at me in the stars, and I'm looking somewhere that's not Mars. Now that I'm long gone, all you can do is stare at me in the stars, remembering like what went wrong. Now your new friends turn into your new fake friends. I know how that feels, friend. Now you want to come and be friends when you were never a true friend. Now you're just like me, friend, all alone, and now me and you can't even be friends.
Bring to the stage number 23. And again, this is number 23.
Hello, my name is Nikel Morant, and I come from Michigan Math Science Academy. And my poem is called The Onion Layer. At our core, we are all simple, like an onion, pure and plain. But as life's experiences ripple, layers form, and we are changed. Beliefs and values take their place at the hearts and minds of who we are. Then life creates its unique face, building layers near and far. Our fears, habits, and preferences are like the outer rings we see. Each one adds to the essence of who we are. Basically, by peeling back these outer layers, we discover who we truly are. Our actual selves becomes clearer, and we can shine like a bright star. So embrace the onion theory and peel away your layers with care. Discover your true authenticity and live a life that's beyond compare.
24.
My name is Desire. I'm from Horizon Science Academy, Columbus, Ohio. And my poem's called Did You Know? You never know what's happening in one's life. You sometimes think that they have a wonderful life after all the jokes and conversations, but you never care to ask. Did you ever know that about the night before their cheeks were stained in tears of sadness and hopelessness? Did you know that their only thoughts were ending their life short, thinking that there's no purpose and meaning? Did you know that in the back of their mind, all that goes on is dreadful thoughts about their self-image? Did you know that they feel unaccepted every day in their life, but nobody ever cared to ask? Did you know why they shut themselves out from others during those dreadful days, locking themselves in a room of sadness? Do you even take the time to ask them, are you doing all right? And are you okay could save them from more destruction? No matter how funny they are, ask them, because that bright smile could be hiding many things behind it. Thank you.
Number 25.
Hello, my name is Desiree. I go to Horizon Science Academy, Dayton High School. And my piece is called Unspoken States of Mind. Unspoken state of mind. Words throw themselves at me as I try to rearrange them into a way that others can comprehend. But how can I translate my thoughts when I struggle to understand? A mind of such complexes cannot be defined by a phase. I had my days, I went astray or felt betrayed, so I changed. I went through states of mind unspoken, the silence that filled my dark room every night unbroken, drowning in a tidal wave of my emotion, so I changed. It's in our nature to change, to adapt, to fill this new mold with attributes of wisdom and survival. So why does it feel dishonest? Why can't I not be the best version of me and the ones others want to see? I guess others can't get from me what I no longer supply. Tired of arguing with someone who won't comply. How can I appease those around me when my dreams bring them displeasure? How can I be happy when those I love view me as selfish? Why is wanting to lead a better life greedy? Why is wanting to be happy such an unusual concept to grasp? I wanted to be different, so I changed. No one could have made that decision for me, and no one should. States of mind have a crucial effect. Sorry, I just messed it up. States of mind have a drastic effect, so it's crucial that we diligently pick the one we want to live in.
I'm Tamara, coming from Horizon Southwest Academy, Chicago. All right. My poem, What Do You Think?
The way you see me changed. You move farther away to distance yourself, and as I decide to let you go, you reappear. See, now why didn't you stay away if you oh so desperately wanted to go? I'm mad at myself for still wanting you, and I slowly realize that that want is turning into a need. Just as I give you me, you leave. I'm left hopeless and bitter, maybe a little scared of what you think of me, but those feelings aren't real. I'm actually quite over you. You numb me to the point where I stay quiet. The things that have hurt me, now I keep in mind. I no longer have a strong dependence on you, yet even if I wish, I could never just be mine. I'm moving on from this state of anguish, and you won't see me. You drain my energy, so I bought a new battery. It makes me feel that little bit of shock, a bit different from yours, but more than enough. I'm leaving you. So, what do you think?
If I didn't say the number, that was 26. You all got that? I hope. Okay. Number 27.
Hi, my name is Alicia Petway, and this is my first time doing poetry. The name of my poem is called Welcome to Beautiful Spring. Spring is that time of year when people start hearing the birds, smelling the flowers, having picnics at the park, and swimming in the pool. And this is the time when people go to the beach to cool off in the cool, fresh water and the cool summer breeze. When people look at spring, they think of flowers and roses and parties and people in pools. Spring has so much to it that some people don't notice the little things, like the smell or like fresh scent to life. Hearing the sound of the birds, butterflies, and the bees are like music to my ears. The air is like a fresh scent that nobody has smelled in the air before. It feels like my life has started over again. When spring comes around, I want to wake up to a nice smell of life. Spring is like a warm feeling. When I compare winter to spring, winter is that time where everything gets covered in snow and the roads get covered in ice. But also, when I think about winter, you can have your fun times, like snowball fights, sledding, and building snowmen. But when spring comes around, everything changes. The winter can be extremely cold when you first walk outside. But when I walk outside, I see snow on the ground, ice on the highway, and kids going to school. But when I compare that to spring, it is all different because there is no snow, no ice. It's a bunch of water that people can have fun in. When I walk through winter, I see a bunch of beautiful snow falling from the sky.
Okay, number 29.
Buenos días a todos. Good morning to everybody, and thank you for coming. My name is Juliet Cherlin de la Torre Juarez from Indiana Math and Science Academy North. Today I will be presenting my poem, Just Okay. I said something out loud again. I reacted again. Spoke and was left unheard again. Their reign intimidated me again. They speak nothing, yet my mind makes their looks so loud, but it's all in my brain. I guess I'm just not all that sane. I guess the voices have left too big of a stain on my mind. I'm sorry. I try not to hide, but your real world feels way too wrong for me. Far too harsh for me, a little too dark for me, like a chain of thorns to me. It cuts too deep, it's such an endless leap, I can't keep up with it. Can't keep up the act, I just want to stay intact, just want to feel secure and assured. I know it's absurd not to know who I am, but I'll try some masks on. Una máscara tan falsa, pero tan hermosa, más hermosa que yo, mejor que yo. Te haré sentir mejor, aunque no sería yo. It's okay, I'll never let you know. I'll keep it on the low, so that way you just won't be able to tell and think that I'm just okay.
And this is number 30. Is that right?
Hi, my name is Monet, and this poem is called In This City. In this city, it is easy to become doubtful. We gonna make it out starts to sound like get comfortable, because we're gonna be here for a while. The city of disappointed mothers and absent fathers, you won't realize how much you lose optimism. I didn't realize how much I lost mine. Do you remember when you were younger, how the world came in 1,000 different colors and Riverscape Park was Kings Island? How about now? Do you realize how we're getting older and the world is turning gray and Riverscape Park is just Riverscape Park? Why, little girl, would you think you would be something? Look at your mother and her mother and her mother. It is just not in the stars for you. No, I cannot let this city's curse win. I will not let this generational disease infest my body. It is just not in the stars for me. In this city, I will look through a lens of the world in 1,000 different colors, the city of strong mothers and loving fathers. I will make it out.
So the next number is 32.
Hello, my name is, the name tag says Jency, but my name is Brielle, and I'm going to be reading my poem. A bit closer. Okay. It's called The Hallway. Pulling the cold metal handle, carefully trying to avoid getting too much water on it. Looking both ways into the hallway as if I'm crossing a street with busy cars. Expecting there to be at least 3 or 4 students, but no, it's empty. As if everyone has suddenly disappeared. Still looking side to side, I slowly start to walk into the long hallway, the long, narrow hallway, filled with colors and cheesy inspirational posters. Planning each of my steps, not much can be heard except for the screeches of my new burgundy shoes, only worn for school. Sides of it dirty from walking through the wet grass in the cold, crisp mornings. Dirt from the bottom of my shoes rubbing off as I sluggishly walk against the tile floor. Almost there. But my heart starts to beat faster. I'm cautiously fidgeting my hands as my walking starts to look weird and abnormal. My once steady breathing getting quicker with each step I take. I see the wooden door, breathing in through my nostrils and exhaling from my mouth, in front of the door of judgment. I have to recover myself. I visually shake the nerves onto the ground, fixing my posture and taking one last breath. I open the door with what looks like confidence.
This is number 34.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, my name is Kira, I'm number 34, and my poem is titled A Woman in Nature. Serenity glitters through the sun rays, and all is calm. I take a deep breath in, me and Mother Nature connect to become one. Peace sways through trees and rattles its leaves with the wind, I run free. Clarity is still like the water, unmoving and unnerved. I enjoy my solitude, but to be a lover, I was born. So we can enjoy all of Earth's gifts, the good and the bad, because life on Earth is like a kiss, sweet but over so fast. So I live my life beautifully, as if it's my last, because I am a woman, for emphasis Black. So I will smile up at the sun as I go down this fiery path, because the earth is my nurturer. Because the earth is my nurturer, and tranquility is my virtue.
This will be number 35.
Hi, my name is Audrey, and the name of my poem is Anxiety. My mind is spinning, I'm sitting still, my mind won't stop moving. I'm in my room alone, but all the voices are so loud. My anxiety is an annoying mosquito biting at me. The mosquito is biting on my worries and fears. My anxiety won't leave me alone about the things that aren't even there. What if this happens? The mosquito says. Are they talking about you? The mosquito whispers. My anxiety can overwhelm and attack me. Like the mosquito, it won't let me be. A breath of fresh air is all I need. Close my eyes and find clarity. Kill the mosquito with some bug spray. Clear my head. 1, 2, 3. In and out, I breathe. The mosquito is dead. I can open my eyes again. I can breathe again.
Number 36.
Hi, my name is Sonia. My poetry name is My Scarcity. I am the that lost love, that romance through the street that are cold and where the darkness invites me without being able to relieve my pain between my little lips and my short heart. I am the most forget among the dark and creepy corner. Scarcity invites me. Now stop, without being able to heave a cry of hope for my outside world. My outside world is invited by false love, of false hopes without being able to relive their healthy wood, without being able to shout I cry for help, without being able to know the work is true identity, able to try to bring out in inner world. That's it. Thank you.
All right, this is number 37.
Hello, everyone. My name is Confidence, and I'm from Chicago Math and Science Academy. The name of my poem is Stagnant. Freshman year, I lost my spark. I found myself repeating this overwhelming cycle of effortlessness. I'd watch the sun rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall, an endless cycle of adult life, but nonetheless, on the not-so-dark days, I became accustomed to cold showers. The state of stagnant came with darkness that devours, lingering thoughts that overpower my will to be free. But the most unpleasant thing you'll see is that I can't escape this body in which I struggle to bathe, or the countless days I look for a reason to stay. But if you ask, I'd say I'm okay. I say that with no hesitation to delay, because something about "are you okay" sends a cascade of butterflies my way. And a friendly flashback of furious thoughts just shivers through this empty vessel I've obtained, the sad soul I can't seem to escape. I wish to be happy. I wish my smile wasn't a facade. I wish my eyes weren't windows to a soul lingering in agony and anguish. I wish my lips told stories of love and laughter. Instead, they quiver at every teardrop. I wish to be happy. I wish to be free. I've been bound by this stagnant state of sadness for so long. It's probably why my mother says I sleep a lot. I sleep through days like flipping through colorful pages of a children's book. Something that seems so innocent, like a firefly in the palm of a bear, has not grown and swallowed me whole. But I'm not tired of the darkness. I don't sleep because I'm tired of the darkness. I sleep because I'm tired of not seeing the darkness as danger. I sleep because I've lost the ability to feel the need to seek help. I sleep in the belly of the bear because it's comforting. The bear has not become my safe space, because what reality has failed to realize is my body isn't tired of surviving, but my mind is tired of fighting. I sleep in the belly of the bear because it has refused to swallow what reality feeds it. So, although I wish for better, I've become accustomed to worse. Thank you.
$38.
Hi, my name is Kristen Maddox, and I'm a senior at Horizon Science Academy, Dayton, Ohio. The story of my poem is Meaning of Love. Hey, how you take this? Okay. When I look into my soul, I find my lonely self.
my young self, reaching out with a small hand. So nervous. I looked around and saw darkness surrounding me. I asked my young self, why so lonely? She said, because you left me by myself. And I've been waiting for a long time now. I'm not ready for the real world. All this cruelty and violence. Will people judge us like they aren't betrayers and slayers? Like, why me being young is so important? Who am I? I'm gonna ask myself again, who am I? I'm just a black girl with a big dream, or I'm just another outcast black girl that doesn't fit in a man's world. I found love in the wrong places. I did things that I had to pay the price for, but yet I'm still here with the love I have to give. I ask myself, what is love? Is it a love for your city? Is it a love for the people around you? Is it a love for money and fame? Is it love for toys and games? What is love? Love, what is love? It's an intense feeling of deep affection. How do you love the ones you trust the most? I know how, by loving yourself.
Okay, 39. Is that right?
Bit unprepared right now. Hello, my name is Adam Bentley from Horizon Science Academy of Lorraine. And my speech was at first untitled, but I've given it the name The Fellas. And I think that'll make sense in a few minutes. All right. Lorraine, Ohio, a city that used to be rich in industrial factories. The city is more run down now, but there are still its good parts. Take a left off Reed Avenue onto 6th Street. There's the public library where me and my buddies, Richard, Marcus, Dylan, Xavier, Stefan, and I would all meet up. We would leave our bikes outside, go inside, and play random computer games until we got bored. Once we all logged out and said goodbye to all the familiar faces at the front desk, we would hop back on our bikes and start riding down 6th Street toward Black River Landing, a place for festivals in the summertime, but when there's nothing really going on, you can just hang out there, and that's what me and my buddies always did. We were 10-year-old kids looking to have a good time, and we were kind of ignorant, so we had to start laughing and ruin the peace. We didn't care, though. We were having the time of our lives, just talking nonsense. None of us had phones, though, so we had to wait till our friend Marcus's watches at 6 o'clock when we knew it was time to wrap it up for the day. We pedaled back to Reed Avenue and all the way down to 23rd Street, where we all lived right next to each other. We all had to be inside by 6:30. Besides me, my mom came home late during summer days, so I stayed over at my friend Richard's house. And on days where we weren't doing that, it was pretty simple. Basketball at Dylan's house until one of us got fouled pretty hard, normally me. I would give anything to go back to those days for just one more game of 21. Communities like these are probably formed everywhere, but you can't convince me what that group of 10-year-old kids didn't have, what that group of 10-year-old kids had wasn't special. Even our parents were friends, and they would just sit on the porch and discuss things like what was in the news or what was going on in their personal lives, and I just found that rare. Like, I've never seen a group of friends' parents also be friends. Those people will forever be in my mind, basically tattooed inside my brain.
And this is number 40.
Hi, my name is Jazreel. Horizon Dayton High School, and my poem name is Death is When You Take Your Last Breath. Death is scary. Death is strange. Death is something that cannot be explained. Death can't be escaped. Death isn't a game, nor is it aged. Some of the nonsense beef in the streets be lame. They be doing it for the fame, but it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, you will pay. Life is hella strange. Sometimes you will never have a say. Wake up, go to school, go to practice with a smile on my face. In reality, underneath is a very not-so-confident child who cries so much alone, nervous to talk in front of a large crowd. I tend to hide my emotions because I'm known to be so strong. I'm gonna be honest though. Physically, I might be, but mentally, I'm not. At night, I cry in the dark, so the next day, my emotions for the world restart. Suicide is real. Lost my friend to it, long live 10. Have thoughts about it every day when I wake up. I pretend, and I pretend. But I won't let the devil win. It's okay to be lame, that's the best way. Stand to yourself, stand out the way, keep it on the low, no one will know. What's private can be destroyed. That's the best way to make it in this world. Death is when you take your last breath.
Okay, number 42.
Can I quit?
You got it. Go, girl. You got
this. Okay. I'm Kavana Moore. I'm from Horizon Science Academy High School in Columbus. My poem is called The Horizon. I can't. Okay. Every day, I begin to feel less and less like myself. I'd even go as far as to say that I began to feel like somebody else. Even when I was younger, I've always felt my body was deteriorating. At this point in time, I began to think that I was below the horizon. I began to feel like omega to alpha pack of wolf males. I watched as everyone ate first, they came first, and I came last, placed last, always last, never first, never in the middle, never between, I was last. Oh, shit. So their actions, their words, they hurt my heart, they damaged my heart. They left me famished, they left me starved to view their horizon, their horizon. I wanted to see, I wanted to believe in their horizon. So for years, I felt nothing but only below the horizon. I listened as they howled to their heart's content, but the only thing I became content with was the cold, dark walls that screamed rejection every time I closed my eyes. And those walls, they had no regards for my well-being. But still, I craved the horizon. The horizon that is so beautiful. Its frequency gets really, really high, and I'm down low. So I craved the horizon. I wanted to see the beautiful paints that it made, the shades of oranges, reds, and grays. I wanted to see the horizon. This horizon is the horizon that Martin Luther King dreamed of before he died. This horizon is singing the song of liberty, justice, and peace. So my ears, they began to ring, they began to scream at me, ridding me of the oppressor songs. Because My heart began to bleed for my people who were starved just like me. My mind, my body, they became in unison as they screamed, they cried to go and feed my people. I now understand Malcolm X's cries. I understand why he said no justice, no peace. Because the only thing I want right here, right now, is to simply free my people from their starvation. So I will feed them with my knowledge. Yes. I will quench their thirst with my words. And I will lead them to the blank canvas where we will paint our own horizon. As we listen to the sounds of a higher river dancing sounds of freedom. The end.
Okay, our next one is number 46.
Hello. My name is William Flowers, and I'm from Horizon Science Academy at Dayton. And my poem is titled, Finally Free. After 730 days of locked doors and mask lines, our communities, a former shell of what they used to be. Social distance from mother, father, sister, and brother. No friends, no fun, and nothing to do. Every day you hear about more pain, misery, and sorrow. A long year of nothing, it feels, goes right. After all we've been through, the sadness, the depression, a world where our homes were more like our prisons. We persevered through it. Mother can finally see son, father can finally see daughter, sister can finally see brother, and friend can finally see friend. It feels amazing to feel the love and touch of my kin. It feels amazing to be able to go out with my friends and not having to worry about getting sick. It feels amazing to be able to go to the store and not have to worry about forgetting your mask or not. It feels amazing to finally be free. Thank you.
Okay, number 47. Of course.
Hi, my name is Ariana Mean. I'm from Horizon Science Academy, Columbus High School, and my piece is called Disconnected. I'm a stranger to my own body. I don't get it, you don't get it. Sure enough, I don't think anyone gets it. So what do you do when the blood that rushes through your anatomy remains foreign, unsure if it even belongs to you? I'm weighed down. I'm weighed down by the dreadfully long existence of continuous signs that my mind is grieving the presence of being understood. My mind expands. It loves to be free and adapt to new things, but I'm limited to the view obscured by sweet tunes, blank canvases, and short stories. I've thought about moving. I've thought about leaving this hollow place. Maybe something's wrong with the people I'm around. Maybe it's the community that I interact with. Maybe I just need to find something worth exploring. Like tall yellowish meadows, wind, tilting signs, something that makes me crave imagination like love, roll down windows and deep rust skies. But I can't stop to explore. Leave people behind, what if they need me? I can't go. I can't let go of memories and horrors. I'm bored by the things that only we are accustomed to. Silly things that can't be outgrown, like yelling OH and waiting for the response. Do you get it? The comfort and familiarity that lives among the pavement streets you've been on hundreds of times. We've lived intertwined with the roads that intersect and buildings that and vines that socialize with abandoned buildings. Buildings left unbuilt and overgrown with fractions of life that carve at the center and grow from the bond. There's still roads that remain untaken and undiscovered, some unfinished. Only I like to admire the roads here. They have pretty names. Some carry history etched with every constant and vowel on the board. The signs are faulted with fallen letters and rusted metal, no longer guiding us in the right direction, taking up space without a destination to reach. Maybe I too just take up space. Are you lost like me? Unsure where to journey next, unsure what path might lead you to your destination? You're stuck in a state of mind of fatigue. I can't speak, you can't speak, we can't speak. Our minds are trained to voice our inner thoughts, but we're stuck in a parallel. You have to keep moving forward. I need to go. I need to get out. We've got to keep going. You can't stop in the middle, race tire shoes. What if I trip? What if we lose all the progress we've made to make it where we are? I've suffered. I've longed for progress. We've longed for recovery like a song we long to listen to over and over and over and over again, altering the melody to fit our perception of this disconnected state.
Number 48.
Hello, everybody. My name's Daisy. I will be presenting my freeform Oblivion. Let me ask you something. Don't you sometimes question your life every waking moment, midday, when going to sleep? What am I doing? How am I supposed to feel right now? Sometimes life doesn't even feel real. Have you ever experienced this at least once? Sometimes life does not... I messed up, hold on. So many emotions in one lifespan and so many questions that cannot be answered. Or maybe the answer given seems to be missing something. So many goals, yet so many accomplishments, but with all of that comes pressure, doubt, lack of motivation, sometimes even a feeling of loneliness and despair. Why is this? Why is it that when I set my sights on something, it seems as if it is running away? Why is it that when I am so close to even grasping and accomplishing that goal, it seems to hit my hand as if I've done something wrong? When I do manage to reach that goal and try to embrace it, the satisfaction goes away, the blink of an eye. So I ask myself, what was it all for? Was all I sacrificed worth it? Or should I have just given up and accepted being the failure for once? Yet the pressure put on me keeps me trapped like a bird in a cage. It keeps me chained up so that sometimes it feels like I belong in an asylum. So what is life? What is all this pressure, and why am I letting it create a war in my head? Pressure from adults, pressure from strangers, yet the one that makes me feel more useless and pathetic is that of my own. Always telling myself so many things, so many what-ifs in my brain that I wish could just disappear. It is as if I'm in the military battling with the opposing enemy. But can you really call it a war when the antagonist staring straight at you is yourself? There was no one there at my departure. No good luck. No one guiding me or even giving me hope. There was no significant other by my side. Not even a single family member. Even during this war, I just wish I could write a letter home, hoping that someone would send something back. So many here in this battlefield are writing letters, getting sentimental, and only trying for their beloved other. But I ask myself, will I ever have that feeling of romantic hope? For some reason, the answer keeps being a monotone yet cruel no. Speaking of significant others and important people, what about family? Was my family ever there for me? Or to support me? I would say somewhat. But then again, why is it that I can't recall a moment of them being proud of me or even celebrating any of my said accomplishments? Yet none of that matters because I know these chains of restraint will keep me locked up with this heart made of mistakes. So what is life? What have I been doing this whole time? But sometimes even in a cave that is pitch black, there will always be a hero to come save you and light the way. But then again, was the villain ever given a chance of salvation? In most cases, the answer is no, they weren't. But they still kept going to build a purpose for the things they did. Just like a flower, we bloom, but if not taken care of properly, we will lose our sweet honey. What will become of me in the future? What do you dream of? What is life to you right now, and what will it be to you in the future? So much thinking, yet so little time. Is time really moving fast? Or is it just that my brain cannot cooperate with these emotions fast enough? Thinking is something that is always going to exist and be part of something so astronomical, but when it gets to your head and messes with you, what then? What should be done then? At the end of the day, the one that will judge whether I succeeded or failed will be myself, but society and these people I have never met will always try to interfere with my positive reinforcement. Life is not a blessing, a gift, nor a curse or trap. It is just something that, and I'll leave that to you to determine what life is.
Okay, number 49.
Hi. I'm Cheyenne, and I'm from Horizon Science Academy in Cleveland. My poem today is called Sunshine. Okay. Sunshine. Do you see how my voice doesn't match the headline? That's because not everything is all sunshine and rainbows as people make it seem. You see, I don't have the perfect life. Shit, you might even call me prosaic or tiresome. I try to fit in. I blend, melt, and mold to camouflage myself into the landscape. I know I can't truly ever fit in with what surrounds me, but that's just the way of life. I prevail, I endure, I smile, I laugh, all out in public and in front of everyone. But do you truly see what I see? How I'm doing behind closed doors? When I'm alone? The silence is ear-splittingly loud, into which it feels like I can never find release. My house is full of sounds: love, yelling, arguing, fighting. Shared laughter is a rarity. People ask me why I play the music I play, or why I just be wanting to be alone. It don't be because I'm ignorant or rude. It's just I might be overthinking, consumed with dread. Since the age of 13, I have been writing suicide notes in my head. However, there are two sides to every story. Two lives can simultaneously exist. While the moments of dread and isolation remain, moments of love and gratitude are present, even if they sometimes hide behind the curtains of doubt. Now, me and my family might not get along every single day. Even though they make me want to pull all my hair out, I still love them. This alone has silenced many thoughts. They keep me going, help me keep my head up 24/7. Y'all, hold on. And although it has been difficult to find time together, when we do, it's like a dream come true. Now I don't see my dad every day. And although I'm not, oh my gosh. Now my dad doesn't live with me, but that's okay, because I know that if I call him up right now, he will answer on the first or second ring. I don't see him every day like other kids, but that's okay, because I am not other kids. He loves me, and I him. Now my mother, she's a tough nut to crack. She portrays a tough outer shell, maybe because she has to. But on the inside, she is kind and warm. She has a mother's love lingering behind every decision she makes. Sometimes she would surprise me with small little gifts that made her think of me. She is also strong and capable, working 2 or 3 jobs to provide for us. She is resilient. And a portion of me hates that she has to be. But for this quality in her, I am grateful. Now my stepmother, she's a little different. Even though she knows I'm not her real daughter, you would not know it. And for this, I love her. When she needs me, I am there, and vice versa, unless it is in regards to cooking. Don't get me wrong, I could throw it down now, but it's the grease and oil that I struggle with. Now my siblings, what a pain in the ass. But I wouldn't change them for the world, because without them, their existence, innocence, support, and love, I wouldn't be as tough and strong as I am today. Now, do you see why my voice doesn't match the headline?
Yes. Okay, number 50.
Hi, my name is Layla Daniels, and I'm from Horizon Science Academy, and today my poem is based off of John Green's book, Turtles All the Way Down, which really struck gold with me while reading it this past year. The words you are about to hear are spoken. They are spoken from the rivers of my eyes. They are spoken from the storms in my mind. My mind is like the wind beneath my feet. The turtles glide it to the beach. The hands in a rave lift me to the sky. It falters to the wonders where I am. Am I a bird? A bird that soars higher than the plane, strutting its feathers? Or am I a zombie? A zombie that looks at the world around it, but can't help but stand there and not digest the joy, like Pandora opening the box. My mind drifts away, I say, to the open sea of wounds, scars, and nightmares, trapped, but all I can do is wait at the bottom. The turtles go by, the fishermen go by, and most importantly, the years go by. The sea isn't a place of home. It's a solace of forgiveness. It's the feeling of healing. It's the way of letting go and letting the water bandage you up. The words filling up on the already deepening sea. The flashes of life go by. Now please close your eyes and let the turtles guide you. I'm not done yet. I'm gonna say one more time because the water is so hard to hear. Please close your eyes and let these words guide you. You are no longer drifting. You're expanding. You're expanding into a mountain that shelters the wise. You're expanding into the clouds that house the brave. You're expanding into the ground that holds the bold. The rebirth of your wonders is here. The first cry you let out, the first joy you ever experienced, the first felt pain you endured, all the way down, you are here.
So we're going to go back to 7. These are the folks that arrived a little bit late because of the weather. So the first one will be number 7.
Hello, my name is Maureen Lowell. I'm a freshman at Chicago Math and Science Academy. The title of my poem is called Outlier. Our truth has been decided for us, and the rest of us who defy this truth are deemed a burden to progress or change. But my truth is not for anyone to refute. My truth commands nothing from anyone. In a world where lies lay in the truth, and the truth spills into the lies, I'll determine my truth, even if it means I'll be an outlier. My truth isn't factual because it resides in my chest, within my 2 lungs, my heart, carved by the word of my Creator, nurtured by His instructions and advice. His love surpasses that of a mother, and every time my uncertainty swells like a bruised wrist, and my vision blurs like windows during the morning fog, and I waver between what I'm being fed and what's true to me, I make ablution, a form of purification. I allow the cold water to trickle down my elbows, and I rinse my face. I douse the water behind my ears and between my braids. I unroll my prayer mat, a soft rouge weaving bedecked with gold concentric domes and hidden crescents that repeat like heartbeats. And my forehead meets the earth once again. And there He listens, again, like He always does. The most and entirely merciful, my light and my absolute truth. There He'll guide me like He had done several times before. I've learned to appreciate falsehood because without a fiction, we wouldn't have discerned who and what we are. Without these little white and bold-faced lies, the potency of our character will be hidden just like those crescents. Our world wouldn't be where it is, our futures wouldn't have the changes we dream. And I dare to say that the truth can be defined because it's like the ripples of the vast seas. And the truth can be defined because we have our own realities. And that there's more to truth than accuracy, and to declare a universal truth is to strip us of freedom to feel and believe. While the world is constantly changing, for the better or perhaps the worse, so does our truth. Therefore, when I think of my truth, it comes from my heart. If my truth is wrong by someone else's standards, I don't want to be right. And I won't make any attempts to be, because this is my first and last life. And I'll choose how I'll live and what I'll believe.
Okay, and this is number 9. Number 9.
Hi, my name is Kia. I come from Chicago Math and Science Academy, and this is my piece. Once upon a time, there was a girl who lived a greater lie. Why would you think you aren't as pretty as I? Why did those lies make you feel but to cry? Ceilings, blue skies, as she lies on that baby yellow slide, her head was her merry-go-round. As her tears rise, her cry was her new shine, her new disguise. Her cry was a chortle to some other who would lie, saying that her cry was genuine. It was not. Her cry was not grief-stricken. She had lived but a melancholic life. She cries. She cries not knowing why, but when she looked to her side, she saw nothing. Her cry was not an indigent cry, for she had always portrayed such a sunny persona. Her cry, oh, her cry, a cry that made her blind, a cry that made her realize why, just why, a cry was seen with such a rise. Ceilings, gray skies, the light of her life pops in the sky. Her palms filled with water. The world, too, started to cry. Her heavy thoughts met with the scratched plastic, the sound of the raindrops accumulating. She turns over to see something besides her. Lovely to sit between comfort and chaos. And it's over. She cries. Once upon a time, there was a lady who held her cry. She didn't know why, but she couldn't say bye to the greater lies she had adjusted to. Though she was never asked why, for it had become something so severe, so fine. Living with lies that feel so true and free, yet so false. Once upon a time, there was a woman who hated lies, who hated cries. She had changed her life by living, by no tears left to cry. She had not been living the greater lie. She cried. Thank you.
So in a second, we're going to welcome up number 13. I'm going to let the judges catch up.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Just to give you a little bit heads up, this is about a war that happened in 2009. And I was about like 3 years old at the time, so. I closed my eyes as shadows started to escalate. You hit my face from every scar, stone, and storm. The only faith I knew was love, and especially from my mother's heart. Her deep, affectionate heart was bleeding love, and for the first time, I saw it really tough, other than playing with dolls. When she helped me with her only hand, the other holds her chest, covers the wounds and pains that beat inside her. Bodies of blood painted the floor like the crimson tide in the early morn. While finding light filled the sky, looks up for hope, yet only gets lost when bounded by the thunder of war that strikes. Fear I was taught. Don't fear, my dear, she replied to my cries. These creatures who move like mortals, the only cry demand. Their ignorance turns to hate, and that's how evil operates. They're blasting hope and faith from our faces, call themselves white knights, yet sin as if God was never mentioned in the Bibles and in the Quran. Teach me how to pray, and I will never pause it. Oh, yes, ma'am. Not even a millennium years make up for today. Not even a millennium years make up for today. The days and nights were the same in 2009. The guns shouted over our heads swerved not for once, but what felt like for eternal days. I turned and I turned only to face reality. My sanity restrains me from going insane. Then I realized the womb of my mother felt way more safer than this. Society wants justice for only blue-eyed and pale-skinned community. No offense, but my human rights faded before it even has formed. Felt like my skin was something that can be deformed. Racism was always in your vocabulary. You like saying it's the 21st century, yet nothing has changed. Muslims are constantly fading. No one counts the death of successors because of their faith. And so the bodies of numbers duplicate. You call this place land of liberty and freedom, yet sort us from races to beliefs, teaching the youngsters about fake myth. Death toll still rises. It's not surprising the news has stopped talking about the brown people's faith. Unconcerned until the plight, because if you are dying, it's all right if you are something other than white. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the recited spoken word category, and there are 5 in the program. There are only 4, so I'll tell you the numbers. The first number will be 201. 201.
Hello, my name is Ashley, and today I will be presenting Barbie Doll by Marge Piercy. This girl child was born as usual and presented dolls that did pee-pee and miniature GE stoves and irons and wee lipsticks the color of cherry candy. Then, in the magic of puberty, a classmate said, "You have a great big nose and fat legs." She was healthy, tested, intelligent, possessed strong arms and back, abundant sexual drive, and manual dexterity. She went to and fro apologizing. Everyone saw a fat nose on thick legs. She was advised to play coy, exhorted to come on hearty, exercise, diet, smile, and wheedle. Her good nature wore out like a fan belt, so she cut off her nose and her legs, and she offered them up. In the casket displayed on satin she lay, with the undertaker's cosmetics painted on, a turned-up putty nose, dressed in a pink and white nightie. "Doesn't she look pretty?" everyone said. Consummation at last. To every woman, a happy ending.
Okay, and this is number 202, Charlea.
Okay. My name is Charlea Smith, and I go to Horizon Science Academy, Cleveland High School. Oh, my poem is I Am a Black Woman by Mari Evans. I am a black woman, music of my song. Some sweet arpeggio of tears is written in a minor key, and I can be heard humming in the night, can be heard humming in the night. I saw my mate leap screaming to the sea, and I, with these hands, cupped the life breath. For my issue, I, the canebrake, I lost Nat's swinging body in the rain of tears and heard my son scream all the way from Anzio for a peace he never knew. I learned the dang dang and pork chop hill in anguish. Now my nostrils know the gas, and these trigger-tired fingers seek softness in my warrior's beard. I am am a black woman, tall as a cypress, strong beyond all definition, still defying place and time and circumstance, assailed, impervious, indestructible. Look on me and be renewed.
Next number is 204.
My name is Moy Mohammed. I'm from Horizon Science Academy, Denton High School. And this poem is by Paul Laurence Dunbar, called The Dreamer. Temples he built and palaces of air, and with the artist's parent pride aglow, his fancy saw his vague ideals grow into creations marvelously fair. He set his foot upon fame's nether stair, but his dream, it had entranced him so he could not move. He could no further go, but pause at joy that he was even there. He did not wake until one day there gleamed through his dark consciousness a light that racked his being till he woke alert to act. But lo, what he had dreamed, the while he dreamed, another waiting action unto thought into the living, pulsing world had brought. Thank you.
Okay, number 205.
Hi, you guys. I'm Anaya Nicole Briggs Jones, and I'm reciting a poem called "Rest My Case." Okay. You know, it's really way past time that we come up with some type of mantra, some type of contextual agreement. There's got to be a way that you do someone that you love, or a process you can follow when you grieve someone that you love. Hey, wait a minute. Can I file a grievance on myself? Can I tell the judge that I was the one stealing my own spiritual wealth? Can I file a grievance on me? If I could, it would go a little something like this. Your Honor, I have failed to give honor to this your queen. Your Honor, I have treated her poorly and tried to intoxicate her over to some of the things that harmed her. Your Honor. She tried to ignore some of the things that she's seen I have not seen, Your Honor. Since I'm talking about self, I'm not suggesting that you throw the book. But I am speaking on her behalf, and finally, she's taking a real thorough look. She's tired, don't want to fight no more. She's tired, don't want to fight no more. Can't love self while looking at the hated past. She tried to fill it with food, and she tried to fill it with the full. Even her own punishment was unusual and cruel. Your Honor, this might be a little non-traditional, but it's mandatory to my destiny that I complete this ritual. See, I'm arresting myself. See, I'm arresting me because I'm already connected with the jailer, but he made me free. That means I hold the key. Your Honor, this queen is guilty of not loving me. Your Honor, see this queen is guilty of not giving this queen honor, Your Honor. So my deposition needs to go a little something like this. The self-hate and destiny can't coexist. I'm in some type of spiritual warfare, and I'm the one struggling to exist. I will gladly enlist the one who did persist, joining the enemy lies, but it's finally way beyond time. There'll be no queen left behind. Yeah, I know she's guilty and charged of spiritual disregard, the reckless dishonor of God's chosen daughter that she purposely dishonors. And since I've come this far, I guess it's time for me to finally get honest. letting go of the victim mentality and getting some real peace and solence. It's time to really get into creation and demolish, Your Honor. In case it's any questions of my guilt, I'd like to submit into evidence. Exhibit A, I have the power, but in trouble, I will not fast and will not pray. Exhibit B, she went days, no food, no worry, no sleep. Exhibit G, dated an abuser with no captivity to love me. Exhibit D, dined with depression and made a cozy pallet within me. Exhibit E, days she didn't eat, body thinking it was starving me. Exhibit F, introvert, putting real friendships to the test. Exhibit G, guilty, Your Honor. Before I rest my case, before the defense rests, before the plaintiff rests, before I rest this case, I'm asking you to please arrest this case. And arrest this very place because there's no present and there's no past, because there's no prison for a person who makes a choice to be free, and there's no way in hell I'm going to live another day not loving me. I rest my case.
Okay, for the judges, this is the persuasive speech, and we will start with, okay, number 302, please.
Can y'all hear me? Is it good? Okay, hi, I'm Melina Rivera. I go to Horizon Science Academy of Lorraine. Man, I've waited a long time to do this. All right, so the title of mine, it took me a while to figure out. I call it Meaningless Meanings. When you think about mental health, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Really think about it for a second. Is it perhaps the thought of depression or the dark, deep feeling of anxiety? Or is it just something you can't quite wrap your finger around? Mental health is more of an issue now than it has ever been. I myself have been affected by the aftermath of the pandemic. The world we know was put into this ball of unescapable isolation. It felt as though there was nobody or anyone we could trust. And we sure as hell couldn't have trusted the news, because the news has lied to us for years. Towards the very near end of the pandemic, it made me realize something, that the little things do matter. You never know what you have until everything is taken away from you. Now, when I talk about mental health, I'm not talking just about the mental, I'm talking about the socially, the environment. It's just all around you. It is proven that within the past 3 years, mental health issues and suicide rates have gone through the roof substantially. It is not something that needs to be ignored. It is something that needs to be addressed way more than it is now. I thought 2021 was going to be such a good year. We were finally going to be able to get to do things that we couldn't do in 2021. But COVID cases were still rising. And now I have to worry about whether my skin determines what job I get or what school I want to get into. Now the media is going to show us some Rolexes or new iPhones to cover up the problems, but I'm not going to let it. It's unfortunate that we have to say Black Lives Matter. I mean, you can kill black people in the street. Nobody's going to go to jail. Nobody's going to go to prison. But when I say Black Lives Matter, and then you say all lives matter, that's like if I was to say gay lives matter, and you say all lives matter. And if I said women's lives matter, and you say all lives matter. You're diluting what I'm saying. You're diluting the issue. The issue isn't about everybody. It's about black lives at the moment. Thank you.
Number 303.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hi, my name is Fatisha. I come from Horizon, Cleveland, and this is my poem. It's called The New Normal. There have been 71 mass shootings at the time that I am writing this. It is February 15th, 2023, and we are to week 7 of this year. I bet you have not heard of half of these shootings, of half of these victims' names. So let's take a moment right now. I'm going to say a fraction of the lives lost, a fraction of the lives changed. January 21st, 2023, Chinese Lunar New Year celebration interrupted by gunfire. 12 killed, 9 injured. Among the victims are Lillian Lee. She was 63 years old. Diana Tom, who was 70 years old. Valentino Alvaro, who was 68. February 13th, Michigan University and Berkeley Hall. 4 killed and 5 injured. Among the victims are 19-year-old Ariel Anderson, 20-year-old Brand Frazier, 20-year-old Alexandra Werner. March 10th, 2023, Akron, Ohio, 3 killed and 1 injured. Among the victims are 25-year-old Emma Reyes, 31-year-old Victor Valera Rodriguez, 35-year-old Domingo Castillo Reyes. I don't know when this became so commonplace. I don't know why it has either. I start to worry that my generation is so used to this state of fear of lockdown drills and threats, seeing news of more death. I start to worry that nobody is listening to us. We are so loud. I do not know how you don't. We ask for more than thoughts and prayers. We ask for change. We ask for help. We beg for somebody, anybody, to listen. Thank you.
And this is number 304.
Hi. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kennedy Short. I would consider myself a silent writer, but people tell me I should be a lawyer, so here I am. And the title of my speech is A Generation of Change. They say technology has taken over the attention of younger generations. They say we are absorbed in our phones, our tablets, our computers. We're told, you never take time to appreciate the world around you. To that I respond, you couldn't be more right. How can we appreciate climate change, war, politics, the never-ending stream of fear? Can you teach me? You claim to be so experienced and wise, yet this is the world you've built for our generation. I thought you wanted better for us. Don't get me wrong, you've taught us how to cover our bodies with bulletproof backpacks in case of a school shooting, which I guess comes in handy, seeing as there have been over 30 incidences this year alone, according to Everytown Research and Policy. Or is that not what you had in mind? Maybe you wanted to further the education of future generations. Too bad we can't afford it, unless you want us to be like the other 9.9 million Americans who still owe upwards of $20,000 in student loan debt. Well, at least that's what Google says. Sorry if my speech contains any misinformation. With all the books you've been banning, I had to rely on my own resources. But hey, I guess technology has paid off. I'm starting to think the future doesn't matter to you. I guess nothing really matters when your planet is in a constant state of deterioration. Hey, guess what I learned this week? Humanity is always about 10 years away from catastrophic climate change that will be irreversible. No, I didn't learn that in school. Are you seeing a theme here? I'm 18 years old and I fear there is no future ahead of me. Bills and laws are being passed that I have no say in. A world ahead of its time, knocked back decades without a thought about who you are really affecting. If you need a hint, it's us. It's anyone under the age of 18. It's the 385,000 babies born every day. We were your future. We should have been your priority. I thought you wanted better for us. Thank you.
305.
Can everybody hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, my name is Tavion Ward. I'm from Horizon Science Academy, Cleveland. Now, I was a little nervous to come up here the first time. Like, this is my first time ever doing anything like this. You know, I am a center stage type of person. But this is my poem. It's called In and Out of Perspectives. So here you go. There I lay across the bay, where my love continuously fails to save the day. I let my body decay and let the pressure consume me as I wander above the ground, preparing to be laid to rest, not knowing what's coming next. Nobody knows how many silent mornings I awoke to, no one to greet me, good morning, good day, good night, just me and my wandering thoughts. My phone remains silent as I sit awake, asking God why my soul? The souls I craved in the graves, the month I count the lonely days, I sit in the dark, not even a spark could lead the way. I pass the place trying to run at a fast pace, trying so hard to not let the memories come back. Crazy how just one look makes you feel like it's that day all over again. Does this happen to you? Do you feel bad? Why can't I love with a broken heart? Why can't I see with blind eyes? Why can't I breathe with no air? Why can't I touch with no arms? Why is this me? Why can't I feel anything? What have I done to receive such sorrow? Maybe I'm a broken record, stuck on repeat, with no one to press pause and no one to take the fall. A heart that can't be mended. Maybe my heart's too pure. Maybe being sad is normal, or maybe not. Maybe I don't deserve to be in this cruel world. Life's lonely sometimes. Here I sit and lay. Should I be gay? Did I betray? Did I or did I not? I'm sorry for my actions. I don't know how to act. I can't be two people at once, or maybe I can. Maybe I'm too gay for this world. When will I be able to walk down the street holding hands softly with my lover? When will the beating stop? When will they end? Will this be my life? Will this be the end? No, 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 don't touch me. I've been touched over and over again, physically, mentally, and emotionally. My mind is elsewhere. Why does this happen to me? I'm asking for help. Does anybody hear me? The one that called me his lover was nowhere around when I needed him. He said it'll be okay, but he lied. I wanted him to be the one to notice everything. I wanted him to see through my tinted window and notice I was trying to let him in. But he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the pain and suffering I felt. He doesn't understand how broken my life is. He said he'll fix it, but did he? My mother is blind, they can't see. I'm still who I'm meant to be. Her son is who I am, but does she realize it? Everyone has a mother to love them, guide them, show them right from wrong, but where was mine? I looked everywhere, but nowhere. All the lonely nights, all on my own, I constantly feel like the problem, no face to feel welcome, not even my own home. The hardest thing is asking for help. When you're alone on the floor, crying and begging, hoping someone will notice you, hoping you won't have to speak first. Yes, asking for help is the hardest thing, but once you have that someone to walk you through, you're no longer alone. It feels so peaceful. You can finally breathe. You can finally sleep at night. You can finally be happy again. When are you allowed to feel like this again? In the end, it's okay to seek help. There's no need to feel afraid. Seeking help might be the best thing because even though it may be hard, you'll always have someone supporting you in every step of the way. Thank you.
All right, so this is the team event, and they've all coordinated how they're going to do their mics. So I will just call them out. I'm not going to even go from here. I'll just call out over there so I can watch, which will be fun. And we will start with, okay, so 401. 401.
First. Hi, my name is Teresa Wyatt.
And I'll be portraying.
Oh, I'm portraying external.
Hi, I'm Kennedy Short, and I'll be portraying internal. And the title of our piece is Shame on Me.
I'm sitting at a lunch table with friends.
I wish I was like everyone else.
The conversations are normal enough, your typical teenage gossip, who likes who, who's dating who.
I'm the odd one out. I've never been in a relationship.
I'm a third weirdo, my best friend and her boyfriend. They've been together since freshman year.
He's your typical jock type. I always thought she deserved more.
His arm wraps around her shoulder. I shift awkwardly.
I feel sick with anger or jealousy, maybe. I wish I was like everyone else.
The conversations go on around me, but I haven't been listening.
All I can think about is her. How her hair smells sweet and how her delicate hand intertwines with his. I wish I was holding her hand.
The voices go quiet. The conversation stops. The attention's all on me.
Why is everyone looking at me?
She looks at me and repeats a question that I missed. Who do you like?
I look at her smile, and it makes my stomach hurt. I realize I can't tell the truth. What would everybody think? What would she think?
Everyone's eyes watching, waiting with anticipation.
I feel sick. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I know what they would think.
I clear my throat awkwardly. I blurt out, "You don't know her."
Oh no, I've made a mistake.
The environment changes. Their demeanors become cold. I'm frozen.
She hates me. They all hate me.
They look at me with shame written across their faces.
What's wrong with me? Why can't I be like everyone else?
Okay, so hey y'all.
Hey.
I'm Amaya.
And I'm Kennedy.
And we are from Horizon Science Academy Toledo, and our poem is called Friendship. Friendship.
It's undescribable.
Our friendship is undeniably indefinable.
Friends by chance, siblings by choice.
Every day you can hear our voice.
Arguing.
We go back and forth like we're pacing.
Embracing the time we've been wasting.
Creating laughter, which is a big factor.
But us and together, big disaster.
In the back of the class, you can hear the rappers.
Eating.
It's our passion.
We won't stop till our bellies are full of satisfaction.
We don't care about the reactions.
Because the jokes will be cracking, they be laughing.
Indescribable.
Our friendship is very desirable.
But our mouth will get us in trouble.
We can't hold nothing but a bubble.
Messy.
I can't wait to tell the tea to my bestie.
We can get very crazy.
Talking about the ways he played me.
But we don't care because we FNF.
On to the next.
Let's tell you about the rest.
We must confess.
We are very much blessed.
I respect.
And not forget.
Siblings.
We act like many things.
One of those things are siblings.
Our twinning is our thing.
We hate swimming.
Thanksgiving is our favorite holiday.
Sometimes we get this feeling of sinning.
But hey, we're just living.
Friendship.
Yeah, that's our thing.
This is team 404.
Are you ready? Yeah. I'm Kavana Moore.
I'm Layla Daniels.
We are from
Horizon Science Academy, Columbus
High School. The piece we're going to be performing is called Improvision of Death, because it's 90% improvision. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you starting? I feel blue, I feel gray. The colors, they're in disarray.
I can't feel no more without him here.
If he's gone, what do I do? What do I say?
Who do I call? Who do I tell? I don't know no more.
I feel so cold, raindrops drip down to my face, and all of a sudden my heart, it starts to race. I'm at a pace where I can't speak. Can you understand me? I don't know, but I can't even understand myself. I feel so cold.
I don't even know what to do anymore. I just sit here and wonder about all the memories we had together.
I told him right before I seen him passed out on the couch. I seen his blue tips, his blue fingertips. I told him I didn't want to see him anymore. So what if he did it all for my sake?
Why did I not tell him that I miss him?
I should have told him I loved him. I should have apologized, but I'm far too late, aren't I?
I don't know no more. I just really need him by me right now.
My mom called the ambulance. We're all in a disarray. I can't organize my thoughts. I'm standing there. I'm just watching the time go by. I hear one by one ambulance signs, but what do I do? Can you tell me what I do? What should I do?
I can't even feel his presence no more. It's not here no more. His bedroom is no more. The warmth he left behind is all cold. The rainy days gone dark. I just can't no more.
I'm sitting in the cold, dark ambulance of my room. I'm wondering to myself if he's gonna be okay, and if he's not, what do I do? What do I say to my mom? Do I tell her that it's my fault? Is it always going to be my fault? Wrong way.
I'm sorry. I look up at the sky. I see nothing.
I don't see the clouds. I don't see the heavens. I see the dark. The dark is what fills me now. I don't even know what our last memory was. I don't even know what he smelled like anymore. It's all just memories now.
Now, every time I close my eyes, I see prescription bottles. I see cold purple. I see the lean he sipped right before he passed out on the couch. I see so many things I wasn't supposed to see at that age, but yet I see them anyway. So tell me, how do I erase this vision? How do I erase it? Can I erase it? No, I can't, because it was all my fault.
Sometimes I sit in my bedroom and I wonder what I could have done to help him, what I should have done to help him. It was my fault that he ended up in the grave that day, and I don't know how to carry on with that grave feeling I feel.
I could sit and talk at his grave, but why should I be the one to sit and talk to him? Why should I be the one there sitting, reminiscing, when I should have been the one to save him? I shouldn't have put him in that position in the first place, so why should I be there? Why should I cry now? Was I crying then when I was sitting there cussing out of anger? Was I crying then when I told him all the things I never meant to say in the first place? Was I crying then? I wasn't. So why should I cry now?
I don't think no one can actually help me with my past mistakes. It's something I have to live on in my life now. Unfortunately, we all make mistakes sometimes, and we have to live with it. But right now, I don't think I can bear it.
Now I'm sitting on one knee. I'm crying, I'm begging, I'm asking for you to help me.
Just please help me.
Let me be remorse. Let me feel remorse for my sins. Please forgive me.
Just please.
405.
Hey y'all.
Hello.
You ready?
My name is Khalesia.
My name is Barbara, and we're from Indiana Math and Science Academy North. Our poem is called
The Models.
Okay. Do you like models?
Yeah. What does the word model mean? Like the pretty girls on Instagram that have every desired thing?
Or is it the prototypes that scientists make?
Maybe it's the sculptures that artists create.
I don't know. I wish I were a model, so effortlessly beautiful with luscious flowing hair and perfectly cut cuticles, you know? I would call it pharmaceutical, relating to drug use. The men and women are addicted so much it's drug abuse.
But wait, what about the models who play certain roles? Like Big Rose's idol, Miss Marilyn Monroe.
Or even Jermaine, who is his brother's keeper, in a way. He's always down for him, right or wrong, to right his wrongs by the end of the day.
True, I feel you.
But maybe I had the story all wrong. My longing to be a model is currently gone. I want to be looked up to as someone's hero.
We want to be looked up as someone's hero. We have our own responsibilities. Our chances of becoming a model is an absolute zero. That's it.
All right, this is 408.
Hi, my name is My Joy.
My name is Kaylee.
And we're from Horizon Science Academy in
And
Ohio.
And our poem is called The Way I Feel.
I feel sorrow no one notices. I hide it deep inside where no one can find.
In each posting, I hope they could take this arrow out of my heart before I fall apart.
People don't notice my pain until it's too late. I carry this sorrow like a heavy weight.
Many late nights I stay awake, thinking about all of my mistakes.
People wonder why I hide all this sorrow deep inside, because every time I tried to confide, no one was there by my side.
Every time I open up, I'm afraid. People take I'm afraid people will take advantage of my pain. I try to keep the happy look, but it cannot be obtained.
Sometimes I feel happiness and the sorrow fades away. The happiness is arrayed in the clouds of gray.
Sometimes I wonder if this sorrow is real sorrow or if it's just something I feel once in a while. I also wonder if I'll ever get the chance to smile.
My mind is weird and it brings me fear, yet I still believe this sorrow will disappear.
When I look up at the stars at night, my sorrow dissolves. It makes me feel as if all my problems were solved.
The sun lets me know that the dark colors are finally starting to fade. I see the light and I finally realize I shouldn't be afraid.
I suppose my emotions have a mind of their own. Seeing my mental state improve has helped me feel less alone.
Hi, I'm Lanya Rose.
Hi, I'm Brianna Frazier. And our poem is called Beautiful.
As I scroll through my phone wishing to be like someone else, I occasionally wonder why I'm never happy with myself. I know that I'm pretty, and I know that I'm smart. It's just this feeling inside of me that wishes for a new start. I wonder if by becoming them will I get a new beginning. My brain sees their appearance as a prize that I want to start winning. I just want to be beautiful.
Girls want to be friends with someone that is beautiful. Is that why I have no friends? Well, it all depends. When will this insecurity end? I run to social media to relieve my pain, but the insecurity and bad thoughts still remain. I just want to be beautiful.
I watch countless beauty tutorials and workout videos, and it doesn't work. When I walk into school, everyone smirks. I pack mountains of makeup to cover up my imperfections. There's so many of them, I feel like I have to work in 3 sections.
I just want to be beautiful. I get called ugly every day. Even my family doesn't look at me the same. Who can I blame? Is it all a game? When I try to proclaim my truth and how I feel, no one thinks it's real.
I just want to be beautiful. I deal with so much trauma and rejection that I'm scared to look at my own reflection. But it's in every direction, a constant reminder every day that gets in the way of being happy. I changed so much to stay in touch with the trends and the crowds, but I think I just want to be myself now, and there is no going back. I must unpack and stay on track. If I want to achieve my goals that I put aside for all these years, I must face my fears and accept who I am.
I just want to be beautiful. One day I pray that I can relieve myself from all this pain and find confidence and beauty within my own skin. Just remember you are enough, even though it may be tough. It may seem indisputable, but you are and always will be beautiful.
Yeah, so thank you to all. Give yourselves a round of applause. The freeform winners are, how do I read it at the same time? Right here. 3rd place, not 1st place. I told you. All right, 3rd place winners, Ashley Patton and Desiree Day. Okay, congratulations, wonderful. All right, and 2nd place. I'm going to need help pronouncing your name. Memon Osman from CMSA. Wonderful. Congratulations. Yay! And 1st place, Monet Edmonds. Congratulations. All right. So that was the freeform category. Thank you very much. You guys, you were great. Thank you. You don't want your picture taken? No? Oh, come on. All right. Yay! Thank you. Okay, in second place, congratulations. Thank you. Okay. And first place, Ashley Plattman. Okay, and now to the persuasive winners. And our second place winner. Okay, and our first place winner is Kennedy Shore. All right. And now for the team winners. We have 2 third-place team winners. And third place is Kennedy and Teresa and Ball and Moreno. Second place, Brianna Frazier and Lanya Rhodes. And first place.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. I also would like to thank Mr. Andy Flaherty for putting this show together for us.